Since all of the kids were hungry, they left the apartment together and reconvened at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe. Finn led the way, passing right through the locked front. Maybeck surprised the others by cooking up decent-tasting turkey burgers. They stayed in the kitchen area and kept the lights off as to not be seen. Exit signs and a few overhead security lights provided the only illumination. Finn and Philby fashioned a table out of a rolling cart with locking wheels. Inverted plastic tubs and buckets served as chairs. The two girls sat together on one side, Finn and Philby on the other. Maybeck joined them last and took the head of the table. Philby placed a paper napkin in front of them.
This is everything we have.
He jotted down the letters they acquired by following the clues in the fable. FMEYIRSTPN.
They must spell something.
If I was at a computer, if I had an anagram generator.
He wrote the letters out again, this time leaving more room around each one. He tore the letters apart. A few minutes later, they had Scrabble letters made out of a torn napkin. The kids studied the letters, calling out the words they saw.
Men.
Leave that to you.
Philby set the letters aside.
Spit.
He pulled these out as well.
Fry is left.
Men fry spit?
Men spit fry?
No way. We'll try again.
He reshuffled the 10 letters. ENPSTMYFRI.
I'm killer at Scrabble, if I do say so myself.
Have at it then.
Charlene arranged the letters into groups, broke up those groups, and tried again. Her hands moved very fast, like a card dealer. She assembled them into My Pit Ferns.
Very good.
My Tip Ferns.
Again.
Finn kept track, writing down all the variations. Firm Spy-net.
That's an interesting one.
Men Fist Pry.
You are good at this.
We all have our talents.
Then 2 in a row. Met Fry Spin, My Pins Fret. Suddenly Maybeck sneezed, sending the letters airborne. Finn and Philby snagged a few of them and returned them to the table. Others floated down like large snowflakes. They settled one by one.
Wait!
He gasped as he saw what the letters were spelling by themselves. Y First Pen. Finn flicked the top of his finger, touched the W and turned it over. He then needed the rest. My First Pen.
The Stonecutter's quill. It's Walt Disney's first pen, oh my gosh.
But what does it mean?
It's the next clue. It means we've got to find Walt's first pen.
You've got to be kidding me.
But where?
Is there a museum or something?
The kids all shook their heads.
There's that one thing. One Man's Dream over in Disney MGM. It's kind of like a museum, I suppose.
That sounds relevant.
What are you, some lawyer?
As I remember, there's stuff there. Like an old desk and models and things like that.
Wayne. This is a question for Wayne.
I paid him a visit, asked him to join us in the apartment. He said his hip was bothering him and that if he wanted to see him, it would have to be at his place.
Well, then I guess that's that.
They split up into 2 groups. Finn with Willa, Maybeck and Philby with Charlene, and left the restaurant 5 minutes apart. The area of greatest risk was Main Street, which was the park's sole entrance and exit. You couldn't leave or enter without walking down Main Street. The fire station was up at Town Square, at the opposite end of the street from where they were. When Finn and Willa reached the park end of Main Street, the area near the castle, they stayed close to the storefront, dunking into doorways and sneaking glances out of the empty street. Twice they hid in the shadows against the door as Finn spotted the taillights of golf carts in the distance. He checked his watch. In 2 minutes, the other three would leave the restaurant. The idea had been for Finn and Willa to be safely inside Wayne's by then. The most risk came with crossing the street. Finn signaled to Willa and counted with his fingers. 3, 2, 1. They took off across the street. 2 blurs of dull, colorful light. As they did, Finn had the pronounced feeling that someone was watching him. He glanced over his shoulder and thought he saw a shadow move in one of the doorways. But who? Door to door they moved up Main Street. Finn looked back, but there was no sign of anyone following. When he was sure they were in the clear, he led Willa toward the fire station and up the back stairs. Wayne answered the door as if he'd been waiting for them.
I think you've done it.
All 5 DHIs gathered in his apartment. Philby and Finn had explained their solution to the fable.
It was the glasses, you see. That reference to perspective was where we failed all these years. You should be very proud of yourselves.
Is that it? Can we start sleeping again? For real?
You can try it, but I'm willing to think you'll have to see it through.
See what through? You wanted us to solve the fable, and we did.
It's not solved. Maybe the pen is the end of it.
It's possible, but I wouldn't count on it.
Why can't you take it from here?
I could try, but I'm not sure that would solve your crossing over problem.
You designed us to cross over, so undesign us.
If only it were that easy. No, I'm afraid Finn's right. You'll need to see this through.
You're after her. Was this ever about the fable? Or is that just a way to smoke her?
It's very much about the fable. I sense some hostility in you, Terry.
That wouldn't be because I was kidnapped, would it? And now you want me coming back for more?
Is he right? Are we supposed to deliver that thing? Maleficent? How do we do that?
You take things one at a time. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
One man's dream.
You can go in as a DHI, but you won't get out with what you want. Think about it. You might not get inside, but the pen would not come with you. The pen is material and real, whereas you
Or not.
So we have to steal it?
You are going to, I suppose.
Why can't you do that?
I wasn't the one to solve the fable. I'm not the one brought here to fix things. You are. All 5 of you.
But you can get the pen if you wanted.
Could I? If an old goat like me, from Imagineering, asked to get inside a display in one man's dream, they'd probably fire me. I have no business there.
Which display? You know which display, don't you?
I have an idea.
Sheesh.
There are several replicas. A drafting table, his school desk, even Walt's original office. A pen. It's conceivable it could be in any of these. You must bring me the pen the moment you have it, and understand the threat you now pose to the Overtakers. Don't underestimate that. Not for a minute. You solved the fable. They may know that, or at least suspect it. The pen is valuable enough, powerful enough to hide inside a fable. Then one can imagine we are not the only ones after it.
You're afraid of her. You created us because you're afraid of her.
Are you old enough to understand the saying, "Don't shoot the messenger"?
Finn had heard the expression before, and judging by the faces of the others, they had too. He thought he understood Wayne's message.
You're not the one who created us. So who did?
Voices came loudly up the back stairs from outside. Several men. One of them said, "Was this where you saw them?"
We were spotted.
You'll have to go now.
He looked toward Finn.
The remote's back at the apartment. That's where we leave it.
The sound of feet coming up the stairs grew all the louder, a pounding at the back door. Wayne had a contented smile on his face.
You didn't think we'd do this without making a backup, do you?
He was holding up an exact replica of their remote. Another loud round of banging on the door.
Gather round.
He was calm and relaxed, as if he had not a care in the world. The DHIs huddled together. Wayne pushed the button.